Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Mike Wood. I'm a real estate agent in Reno, Nevada. And we, meaning Arden and myself, are going to talk about why we're doing a podcast called What Works Weekly with B
Mm.
Coaching.
Yeah.
So I coach real estate agents nationwide, and we run a coaching company that helps people be the best version of themselves, which is why it's called B. And Arden McLaughlin, how do I say your last name?
McLaughlin.
Oh my
McLaughlin.
gosh.
I'm a good Irish girl.
Yeah, are you? Like that singer?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's McLaughlin. And she 100% makes you want to cry about all the cats and dogs in the world.
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't
In
make
the
you do that.
arms of. All right, and you are you are the director of marketing, communication, and overall Queen Bee.
Yeah. That's what I
Yeah.
like. I have named myself the Queen Bee. It's why I'm sitting here in Chad Lubin's beehive, but I'm the only girl, female full-time staff. So I make sure I come as frilly as possible at all times. So
Look like you're gonna go
happy.
churn butter.
I might turn. This is the style, Mike.
Is
Just like I
that
tell George,
style?
this is we're not talking about my dad's job. My dad does make sausage and liver mush. I am a farmer's daughter.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So listen, we do this podcast once a week. We want to help sales and business people, right?
Yes.
With what we believe are the four areas that encompass the sales process, which is lead generation, lead conversion, closing, and then what we feel is the most important, which is follow up. What we're going to do is we're going to bring people who are in not necessarily real estate or mortgage or insurance. We're going to bring people outside that have influence over those spaces that are really good at whatever it is they do. And we're just going to spend 15, 20, maybe 25 minutes if they're really interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
It really could go any way. But the goal is to bring access to people that are really good in a certain niche to our audience so that they can learn. And I mean, heck, we had David reads fast. Guy teaches you how to speed read, but also retain and remember a book. And he asked me, he goes, well, what are the 7 habits of a highly effective people? And I was like, oh, I've read that book. I couldn't tell you. I don't remember. So little things that we all struggle with in these industries. We'll bring in experts in little topics and we'll talk about them.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We know that podcasts are so valuable to our salespeople, our solopreneurs, people who are living kind of life isolated a lot of the time. So being around and giving you free access to really smart people who are able to give you 1 or 2 tidbits to walk away with and be better is so key to being great, right? We talk about being great, go be great, but it's step after step after step. And this podcast every week is going to give you that access. And I think that's something that I know. I listen to a lot of podcasts and they don't all have to be murder shows, but a lot of
Right.
them are. So this is going to take a break from the murder shows and give you something to actually go and do with your day without bogging you down for an hour and a half to get to the nuts and bolts. We're giving you
Right.
the nuts and bolts and then kicking you out.
Yeah. And we're not sponsored. So there's no commercials. We're like ad free.
We are
I mean,
ad free.
unless you're on Spotify and you don't pay for it. So that's not our fault though.
No. Well, and Apple as well. But, that's Mike, I will ask you, what's your favorite thing about a short snippet podcast?
Um, I think it's like Cliff Notes.
Mm-hmm.
I just want the meat. I mean, I listen to audiobooks on 1.25, 1.5 speed.
Right.
And a lot of the time is spent in the narration and in the story where I'm like, look, and I'm not going to lie, I use ChatGPT for this. I'm like, hey, just give me the outline of
Right.
this book, because if you saw how many books I have, like Jay has hundreds of books that he's read that he can recite, which is wonderful. I have a number of books that I've gotten about halfway through,
Yeah.
or
Same.
3/4, but
Yeah.
reading has never been my thing. But I still need that information. I
Right.
want it in a condensed. And if you can make me laugh along the way, then winner, winner, chicken dinner, right?
Yeah. Well, I am a reader. I used to work in literacy. So everyone who's going to see this is like, Arden is a reader. I am if it's fiction and it's interesting. But I'm like you, I started a new book, Ryan Leake's Complicated People, How to Work with Complicated People, especially when you're a complicated person, right? Like,
Right.
and I'm like, just tell me what to do. Tell me how to work better. I don't need the thing laid out for me. And so I'm doing the same thing, like flipping through to the bullets at the end of the
Yeah.
book, going, all right, that's a tactic I could use. That's a way I could be kinder. That's a way I could ask better questions. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to teach you how to be kinder, ask better questions, and then walk away every week with one thing you can do. That's what being just a weekly checklist.
Yeah.
We're big on checklists as well. So, Mike,
Big on checklist.
who's your ideal person? Because we also will be bringing people in. Who do you want on with you?
A great example would be the person you just mentioned. So
Okay.
this guy wrote a book that I'm sitting there going, I'm a complicated person
Yeah.
and I deal
So
with complicated
complicated.
people all the time. And
Okay.
will I buy the book? Oh, sure, I'll probably buy the book and
Hmm.
it'll go on the stack.
Okay.
Will I read it? Will I get anything from it? I mean, I might download it on Audible and I might listen to it. But I think I've got somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 titles in my audiobooks. And I believe three of them I've actually listened to all the way. So
Yeah.
there's not one person that I go, oh, this person would be the one. I, I'm more excited that we get people from all different areas
Okay.
that can bring in different information. And I will tell you, some of the most interesting people I've ever met, I did not think I was going to even enjoy the conversation that we were
Huh.
about to have because I'm like, oh, this topic is dumb. And then all of a sudden, like, wait a second, this is actually pretty cool. I can implement this. And back to your point, the goal is to have 15 to 25 minutes that is full of tactics that somebody could walk away and go, that's the one thing I'm going to change right now.
Okay. And to share with someone else as well. We
Totally.
believe podcasts, I know they build community as well. So you could play this at your office. And obviously all of you play it and download it because the more downloads we get, the better our rating is. But download, subscribe, do all the things,
I
but
love
have
self-promotion.
yeah, this is the marketing person in me.
Hello.
So um, we want you having these conversations because the next thing I'm going to ask Mike to tell you about is you're like, okay, cool. Be what works, Whaley, whatever.
Yeah.
What is actually be? Because this is coming from a bigger company. This is not just Mike and Arden and Eric decided to invite a bunch of people to a podcast. I know I've personally done that in my past. Mike probably has too. This is for go be great. Be coaching and consulting.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
What a silly name to call a coaching company. B. I mean, it's the
Be.
most simplest. Like you couldn't have called it I. Like that would have been shorter. No, it was a bunch of us that decided that we had been coached, and it changed our lives, and
Mhm.
we love the idea of having impact on others, and when we were trying to come up with a name, we came. You go through the normals like. Impact, revolution, all of these. And then we boiled it down with the marketing guy. And the guy said, what's the purpose? And we said, the purpose of the coaching company is to help people become their best selves.
Mhm.
And he said, oh, that's neat, but you can't call it become your best self coaching. But he said you could call it be coaching because be is the essence of the word is a state. It's a state of being. It's what we are. We are
Mhm.
beings. And the idea is I want to be my best self. Well, sometimes you need people, and trust me, every single day I'm like, no, that's not the best version. Nope, that's not what could I do different? What do I
Yeah.
have to change? How do I fix it? Da, da, da. And what you
Mhm.
realize is that we are all continual works in process. Um,
Mhm.
and sometimes we need somebody to be our bumpers, like in a bowling alley when you roll gutter balls, but you still want to play. So they put the bumpers up so that you don't go into the gutter. The
Yes.
idea is the coaching company is that. So we help people create in their mind the ideal version of themselves. And then we work
Mm.
backwards and say, okay, well, if you want to be in shape, it's going to be really hard to do that if you're not going to the gym, or if you eat Snickers all day, or, little things like this. Like, what do you do on a daily basis, a weekly basis, occasionally, that might interfere with the best version of yourself? How do we
Right.
eliminate those and refocus? So that's the silliest name in the world for a coaching company. But
It's
I believe could have the biggest impact on individuals that want to be better.
I totally agree, and I'll lean into that a little bit more of, like, when I first went through a 3-day coaching years ago, and the first thing they talked about was just be present. But the verb that is be is so powerful when you're just, my boyfriend and I talk about that all the time. Like, what are we going to do in 6 months? He was like, I don't know, but let's be right here, right now, because this is all the time we have, right? Be coaching and consulting. We've got this really cool podcast. How would someone come about? What does coaching look like to you, Mike? Are you in a coaching program right now yourself?
Yeah.
Do you get coached?
I do. I get coached in different things. Heck, I'm sore today because I have a trainer that dude's name is Bruno. His
Oh,
name's Bruno. He's 55. I'm 57. And
okay.
he gets so happy. I hired him. I met him at a dinner a couple weeks ago. And I said, dude, you look like you're in great shape. And he's like, yeah, cancer survivor, went through a Cancer Warriors local event where they get into shape, and he's telling me about the journey. And I said, hey, do you train people? He said, yeah. I said, how many students do you have? He said, I don't have any yet. I just got certified. And I said, well, I'll be your first student. Like, cool. There is nothing more humbling than going into a gym and having a dude named Bruno smile because he knows he's going to make you feel pain. Like, he
Mm,
totally enjoys it. And I'm sitting here going, I don't need, why am I doing this? I don't need this. I'm not looking forward to the next 60 minutes. And then 30 minutes in, I'm like, I'm halfway done, dude. I'm halfway done. And I'm sweating and I'm just miserable. And then I get done and I can barely walk out of the gym. And I was like, damn, that felt good. Like, it was good to accomplish it. Sometimes we need some level of accountability, even though we know what we should be doing. And it's that level of accountability that makes all the difference in the world. So I believe, we all believe, that people should be coached, that people should be able to take their ego and put it aside and turn to somebody that has had success in whatever field and say, hey, will you help me get better at this?
hmm
That's it.
Yeah. And that's what this podcast is going to be too. These are not theories. These are not, hey, we did this 20 years ago. We're going to have people who did it last week, who
Right.
are looking at the market right now and going, hey, this is the new normal. This is the new
This is
normal for the next 6 weeks until they change it again. And here's how to overlook fake news on social media or whatever things you're following. Here's how to overlook, your Google's telling you one thing, your your neighbor's telling you something else. These are tried and true experts. They are vetted. And we'd love to have some of you on there as well. You will go through a vetting process and we'll make sure that we're all a fit for each other, that we want to give you a platform to share how you help people be great
Yep.
too, because we want to be a positive voice out in the podcast world. When that's who we are as people. We are positive, we are empowering, we live by being fearless, being generous, and being our best selves. And that's what this is going to be. Be What Works Weekly. And so, Mike, how can they kind of get in touch with us? And what's the best way to kind of stay in touch with this podcast as well?
You are the marketing person. You should know this.
I do. I'm
So
asking
so
you. You're
so
the
let,
guest.
let's oh, I'm the guest? I thought I was the
Well, I'm
host.
asking you. You're the host. The host always tells where to go and what to do. I'm
I
nothing.
don't know
You're
how
the
to do
one.
this. I'm just
Okay,
talking.
then.
Listen,
Okay.
they should go to the website. The website is gobegreat.com.
Yep.
Yeah. And then once they do that, do they click on something?
They can, but how they're going to find the podcast, what I'm trying to get at is how they're going to find the podcast. Hey, guys, we're going to be live. We're going to have a video every Friday. It's going to be a live video. What? 1 p.m. Eastern. It's going to go live on video platforms. And then the audio recording of this is going to be on all of your podcast platforms the following Tuesday. So maybe you had a really good experience with it on Friday. Bring it to your team meeting on Monday or Tuesday. You get it on Tuesday. You have a great experience with it. You forward it to your friend and say, hey, this really helped me. This podcast is something that we want to be spreading, and it's brand new, but we believe this is the right answer to getting to you all where
You could also email marketing@gobegreat.com with the subject line podcast. You could do that.
yes,
That
you
would
could
be
do
a
that
way.
too.
That'd go right to you.
It will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are
But if you're,
marketing.
I know, but if you're some creepy guy from prison,
Don't.
no.
Just don't. Just
I've
don't.
already been through that. Couple
Be your
restraining orders and I'm done.
be your better self and don't. Yeah, we're gonna stay away from those. Hey, good. Okay, thank you.
Do you know how many times I've had creepy guys from prison contact me? I saw you
No,
with your
I don't.
books. Saw you
I
with your
don't.
books on WBTV. You're so pretty.
So
No,
my
I'm not.
my my wife watches those unsolved murder shows. She listens to the true crime podcasts.
Mhm.
I don't mind it. The fact that she journals and takes notes, that's what worries me.
It should.
Yeah.
Most
All right.
most
I've got to go coach. I've got to go coach some people.
Okay, go make them better. Go be great.
See you guys.